Hi, I'm Kylie. My first artifact that I chose to do was my Heroes project. And when we did this project, some of the things that I learned how to do was to plan, draft, revise, to analyze info, and oral and written communication. So when I plan, draft, and revise, before this, I normally never did it. Like, I did it if I needed to do it, and I did it if I wanted to do it, like if I thought it was absolutely necessary. But during this project, I found like as you revise and as you edit and you do all these things, the better your presentation will be. So I thought that that was just something very important that you had to do. To analyze info. For the questions that I asked my hero, most of the responses I got were not very detailed. So I had to kind of like go through all the questions again and take out the info that she got and kind of piece it together to fit like what I wanted to write. So that was interesting, and I think that will help me when I'm older. Oral written communication. I was never really good at talking to people. Once you got to know me, I was really friendly and stuff, but when you first met me, I would be the shyest person you knew. So I thought it was kind of interesting having to talk to strangers when you meet them and having to like just kind of have a conversation with them, you know, and get them to understand what you were doing during this project and what happened and why you chose this person and all these things. And that also falls under people skills, I guess, because you have to learn how to relate to them and get along with them, and you have to deal with them, I guess you would say. Okay, this is the picture of my thing, and that's my hero. Okay, for the H power. So with these skills, when we're older, we need to learn how to make decisions for ourselves, and we need to learn how to, take charge of our future. So say you're gonna vote for a government, you have to pick which one you think would be the best, which means you have to understand what each view of the government person would be. It's kind of like this. So we went to two different places, the H power and the recycling plant, and both of them had different opinions on certain things. So you had to kind of like pick through, and you had to decide what side you were going to be on. Some challenges about this was that if both sides have their own opinions on what's going to happen, so after listening to both of them, it's kind of like there's good about one thing and there's also bad about the same thing, but yet on the other side there's also good and bad. So it was kind of hard to like pick and choose which ones you think you were going to do. And then I think basically with this skill that I learned while on the H power field trip and recycling plant, it will help me when I'm older and deciding decisions that will affect my life. And this also helped me understand what it's like to be an adult, to choose what side you're going to be on, I guess. Okay, so this is the work table I had to find. While doing this, I found that I had successes and I had things that I needed to work on, but when I realized what was happening, I realized everything I said was me. Like, I needed to work better on this, or I did really, really good at this. But working on the work table, you have to work as a group. So I found that you needed to be able to understand what other people are doing, or understand what they need to work on, or understand what they did really well. I find that my team works very good independently by ourselves, so we don't work together. So I think that's one con that we need to work on, but something that we work well together is when we need to get it done or when we need to work, it's always very together. Like, we all talk together and we all share our opinions, even if it's like a negative one to what we're trying to get. So I think it's good that we all share our opinions and stuff. And then I am the leader of the group. I'm the group leader, and I find that a good leader takes charge of what to do, but you're not the boss, which means you sit behind a desk and you tell people what to do. You actually have to get out there and you have to do it with them. And but at the same time, you cannot do their job. So say like one of your team members are having a hard time, you can't do their job. You have to be able to tell them how to change it and how to make it better. So those are some of the things I learned. And then these are just some of the pictures we did while working on our hydroponic, and then this is our table. Okay, so for sleep habits. This was a one-day thing for Mr. Kaneko's class, and it was like, at first when he talked about it, I was like, this isn't very important. You don't need to know this. Why would we need to change our sleep habits? I get enough sleep already, right? But before this, I was getting maybe like 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and my mom was kind of mad at me about that. But I told her, hey, I get more sleep than my brother. But after like I kind of figured this out and stuff, and you look at the pros and cons of how your sleep affects you, I found that, you know, maybe I should try, and maybe I should do something different, and maybe I should get it better. So I tried, and now I get like 8 to 10 hours of sleep. But the only problem is, on the weekends, I don't get that sleep. So a challenge that I need to fix is I have to get it daily, you know, including the weekends. So I thought, you know, I should do that. And then this was the picture of my blog post. Okay, the Lowy field trip. The Lowy field trip taught us many things. It's about sustainability. It's about what the Hawaiians did back then compared to what we do now. The differences that are different from the time periods. So some things that I thought were different was they used every part of the kalo. They used the leaves, the stem, and everything. Now we're wasters. I mean, you gotta admit it. We're wasters. We waste a lot of things. And now that after I went to Lo'i, I kind of was like, you know, you don't need to do this. Like, say you used a Ziploc bag to put ice in to make it an ice pack, and then you threw it away. It's like, why would you do that? It's like, it made me think about that, you know? Why would you do that? It was just water, you know? So I thought about that, and I was like, we need to change that, you know? So around my house, I've been doing a lot of different things. Like, I told my mom and dad about this, and they're like, wow, that's a good job. So now we're kind of doing different things and helping around. And then I'm a lazy person. I admit it. I stay at home and I watch TV, and I'm very lazy. But that's, like, I guess that's changing now. So before, I hated going to my brother's soccer games. It's like, why would I want to go that, right? Because my brother's ill. But now, it's like, at least if I go to my brother's soccer games, I do something, you know, I'm not just at home lying around. Now I'm actually outside and I'm doing something, even if it's nothing. But that's what I thought. And then those are just pictures of the Miss Cowboys. Okay, so what do all of these things have in common? All these skills are skills that I will learn when I'm older. Things that I will use when I'm older and when I find that I need them the most. So I think they're going to help me with all these things in the future. Like, say I come into a roadblock and I need to, and say I'm working for a paper or something, and it's like, this sounds horrible, how am I going to fix it? I can use a skill that I learned in humanities. So I find that being an impact is a privilege, but being in the MKS program is an honor. Thanks.
Questions for Kailee? Kailee, what was your biggest challenge in creating this project, or Prezi?
The biggest challenge in creating this Prezi, like working with the Prezi, or just in everything?
Everything.
The biggest challenge was, I guess, putting together my script, because I found that it was such a big deal about it. Like, I thought, oh my god, what if I do something wrong and stuff? And then it's like, if you take a step back and like you kind of calm yourself down, it's easy, you know? And it's just copy and pasting from your blog, and then maybe tweaking a little bit.
Because you did a good job on your blog.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice, Kailee.